Good afternoon. We are here today to share with you the story of Wheels That Go and provide an operational review, data analysis, and strategic assessment. And lastly, to end the presentation, discussing the future opportunities and exciting changes for the future of the company. We will start with introductions from each of our executive team members. My name is Katie Budgeon, and I'm from Portland, Oregon.
I'm Ricardo Espicia from San Diego, California.
And my name is Jennifer Mercer, and I'm from Marin, California.
Today, we will be reviewing the business simulation of Wheels That Go, including the successes, growth opportunities, and overriding strategy. The following that you see on your screen provides the agenda for today. To begin, we initiated this company and established a strong set of beliefs that are grounded in our mission, vision, values, and overall strategy. Wheels That Go is a bicycle manufacturer based in Austin, Texas, one of the top 10 cycling cities in the United States according to SOLA. This location provides an opportunity to employ passionate individuals who also provide inside knowledge about what customers want in a bike. Wheels That Go mission is to create quality bicycles for all people to enjoy the journey while increasing shareholder value for its investors. The vision of Wheels That Go is to become the leading bicycle manufacturer in the United States by creating quality products to inspire customers to explore their daily paths and the American outdoors. Wheels That Go's strategy is ultimately to increase shareholder value by manufacturing high-quality bicycles through cost leadership. This is achieved through an operational strategy which creates facilities and processes to increase operational efficiency by maintaining quality controls, developing efficient manufacturing processes, and optimizing supply chain management, including distribution channels. The marketing strategy of Wheels That Go is to establish an ideal mix of distribution and branding to reach the maximum amount of customers within the customer base. Both strategies must be fully committed to ethical decision-making that align with Wheels That Go's current core values. The core values of Wheels That Go and its employees are driven to design, build, and deliver the highest quality products by taking the most ethical path. Wheels That Go's corporate social responsibility commitment to conduct business in the most ethical way is founded on the desire to make the world a better place by considering the impact on the environment and the positive forces brought to the employees and community. It uses renewable and sustainable energy in facilities, minimizes waste in manufacturing, and delivers products with minimal and recyclable packing to create a zero carbon footprint. It is committed to an ethical working environment and providing employees with salaries and benefits that are within the industry's top tier. Local communities are supported through philanthropy and educational actions. As a management team, Wheels That Go set high standards regarding communication, including division of duties and responsibilities, expectations for response time, commitment to strategy and goals in business simulation and in the course, which were reviewed at the beginning of each meeting. We had healthy conflict and disagreements when necessary to tease out the plan moving forward. Everyone maintained flexibility through the term working together. Consistent with Patrick Lencioni's teachings, these best practices reflect soft skills that were key to the success of the team working together, creating clarity and reiterating the common goal. With the management team working closely together in a unified strategy, business operations and manufacturing efficiency were increased and consistent through the last 8 years. Before jumping into our performance, the executive team reflected on our past and conducted a SWOT analysis to evaluate those internal and external forces that have shaped who we are and will guide us in the future. A SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, is a method that was used by the leadership team to determine the internal strengths and weaknesses and compare against external desired opportunities and to identify potential external threats to determine any future course of action. An evaluation of our internal strengths and capabilities revealed that throughout the simulation, the Wheels That Go leadership team was able to stick to the core values and strategy of cost leadership, maximizing productivity and efficiency, maintaining quality, and building a foundation for long-term growth and increased shareholder value. We have built a strong, highly trained, motivated workforce. Wheels That Go is at a 0% turnover rate and has a skill index of 90%, a motivation of 84%, And this is despite some of the layoffs that were necessitated in 2023, 24, and 25. Wheels That Go maintained consistent quality at a 0.95 index and were able to achieve high production efficiency at 87% with 0% idle time. In terms of areas of focus and areas that we intend to shore up in the short term, Wheels That Go will focus on the financial performance, regaining the market share that was once owned, enhancing the marketing and distribution channels, as well as further refining our manufacturing capacity. Now, if we turn to the external forces, clearly there continues to be an opportunity in the US market, which will continue to be capitalized on prior to discussions of any global expansion. Lastly, if we turn our attention to potential threats, Wheels That Go is always watching for new competition, shifts in consumer expectations, as well as lurking threats such as a takeover situation. This provides a snapshot of the company and how we are learning from the past and moving towards the future.
We will shift gears now and focus on performance and provide an analysis of what has worked well throughout the years and how we've learned from the past to modify future decisions to deliver on financials for investors. To begin with, key strategic decisions that impacted growth are discussed within this presentation and will include those decisions with both a positive and a negative impact on outcomes. To start with, the slow introduction of new bikes did not allow for rapid penetration of the market in key segments, specifically for the leisure and the kids that were both impacted by a longer than desired lag time by up to 2 years compared to competition. For the leisure bike, we unfortunately encountered a design flaw of less than optimal quality, and this resulted in a rework and lost time on the market, as well as additional costs. To retain market share and sales, excessive investment was made in advertising and PR without the appropriate bike specifications to entice consumers and overcome competition. Lastly, an inaccurate assessment of production resulted in excess inventory and storage costs. On the flip side, we made some very positive decisions that resulted in positive outcomes. Wheels That Go initially gained market share and had the highest overall unit sales for the adventure and commuter and leisure segments, but this fell in the later years, and the effect of that is reflected in our financials. Production was maximized, as well as production efficiency and quality, of which I will review those data in more details. Early on, we focused on the workforce and reduced staff turnover and improved skill. These investments resulted in positive impact to the quality of our bikes. Now, debt was eventually eliminated and costs were effectively reduced to increase net income, although slightly in the later years. So now we are going to focus on Wheels That Go performance measures for the final period. And here we have the status of our performance measures focused in 4 key areas: financial, manufacturing and operations, quality, and products and manufacturing. While we were initially very aggressive in establishing these goals, perhaps some of these may have even been unattainable. However, we strive to achieve high standards and aim high for operational efficiency, as well as profitability and shareholder value in the future. Although, as previously mentioned, several decisions and outcomes were made that negatively impacted shareholder value and profits, we focused on stabilizing, recovery, and regaining shareholder value. Future decisions will continue to focus on these measured outcomes, but also will focus on maintaining the long-term strategy of cost leadership, maximizing productivity and efficiency, maintaining quality, and eventually improving shareholder value. Here's a quick look at financials over the years. These data were taken from multiple reports, specifically the income statement history and the industry benchmark for each year. And what this plot shows is a steep trajectory in retail sales and revenue, initially up to 2021. However, we were unable to control costs to achieve an increase in net income. In summary, retail sales, revenue, and net income stabilized in the later years and show a slight increase in the last 3 years. Now, if we shift and just take a look at one metric, while this does not tell the entire story year over year, it does tell us that our past strategy was successful, and this is reflected here in this analysis. In the market summary reports over the last 7 years, data was compiled to show that, in fact, we did have the overall highest unit sales for the adventure and the commuter in total from 2019 to 2027. This was compared to competitors. The fact is that we lost market share, and this was reflected in our financials as previously shown. So this just is a glimpse that, in fact, unit per unit, we were on track. Now, if we shift to manufacturing quality, what we achieved was a very highly skilled, trained workforce. And as shown here, Wheels That Go was successful in reducing internal rework and the percentage of external warranty costs. And Wheels That Go effectively improved the workforce skill, motivation, supplier relations, and quality systems. And this is reflected here on the right by looking at the increase over time and eventual stabilization. Although it does fluctuate, we continually made decisions to achieve those high percentages, both in terms of the quality systems, supplier relations, as well as the workforce index of skill and motivation. Wheels That Go benefited greatly from these investments to improve quality and build a quality workforce. As mentioned previously in 2021 and 2022, Wheels That Go made several decisions that set us back quite a bit, specifically related to demand forecasting, as you can see from the figure on the left. What this shows is that the demand forecast and estimated manufacturing was not aligned with uptake in the market, and this resulted in excess inventory and storage costs. Now, based on this figure, it shows that we were way off for the adventure and the leisure demand forecast. These decisions were made as a result of thinking we were headed in the right direction with appropriately assessing competition, and it did not account for the decrease in market share by about 10% between 2022 and 2023. We overestimated the manufacturing capacity by purchasing SCUs and hiring staff. This created the perfect storm of overbuilding capacity, while at the same time, we spent more than $20 million in PR and advertising to keep us in the game with market share. And we reduced the price of the adventure and the leisure. All in all, we created the perfect storm here. And what you can see is resulted on the figures. Now, on the figure on the right, what it shows is that we are recovering. We've carefully honed in on more accurate demand forecasting, and we are on the road to recovery. These years set us back as a company and put us on a slow road to recovery. We've learned from this, and we've taken these learnings into the future as we recover.
In the following section, we will review the strategy and its implementation, followed by an assessment of the future direction and market expansion. The presentation will end with the team's concluding remarks. In the review of strategy and implementation, the following discussion points provide insight into the critical facet of Wheels That Go. Our strategy has always been, and is best summarized as, Wheels That Go will manufacture superior quality bicycles through cost leadership in order to increase market shareholder value. Operations will drive low costs through the manufacturing processes by optimizing the supply chain efficiencies and the use of highly trained and motivated labor force. Wheels That Go will market its products through efficient distribution channels and effective advertising. Implementation. The operational and financial performance of Wheels That Go was initially less than optimum due to strategy implementation actions. However, these steps and actions have been identified and today present no significant changes in overall strategy. Initially, the management team emphasized advertising and brand awareness without fully optimizing operations and its distribution channels. These actions in the beginning led to gaining a substantial leading market share in 2021 with retail sales of $107 million and net income of $3.9 million. In 2022, financial statements indicated the decline of both market share and net income, with a depletion of cash at a negative $2.3 million. Subsequent actions to significantly reduce expenses, primarily in advertising, began in 2023, but as a result, the fall as the market share leader. By 2024, revenues increased steadily and cash on hand increased to 12.4 million, up by 12.2 million from the year prior. Our efforts worked. Performance measures steadily improved through 2027 and ended with retail sales of 85.2 million, revenues of 45 million, and net earnings of 800,000. Cash on hand stands at 17.6 million. To continue to refine its strategy actions to fully capture sales within the US market. In 2027, with retail sales of 85.2 million, we compared poorly to the industry leader at 155.1 million. The strategy shift will correspond to the actions required to improve the marketing and distribution efforts. Wheels That Go will increase pricing that is just below market pricing for similar quality bikes. Again, consistent with our strategy to build quality bikes and inspire a variety of customers, Wheels That Go developed bikes for the adventure bike enthusiast, the everyday commuter, and for consumers that enjoy a weekend ride in the park, as well as for kids of all ages. We have settled on a good mix of products that meets a variety of consumers' preferences, and we have leveraged the distribution channels to meet these consumers. Importantly, modifications were made for all bikes with the exception of the commuter bike to stay ahead of the competition and to meet our customer expectations. As you can see from the table as taken from the market summary report, the bike specifications were aligned with consumer preferences, with the exception of the kids bike, which focused more on style, but we were unable to bring that index in line with the kids parents are looking for these days. We will continue to modify the design of our bicycles for all segments to best fit the demands of our ridership. With the conclusion of the historical performance analysis, we will now focus on the future direction in strategy and the analysis of global competition. The global market is estimated to be worth 65.4 billion in 2022, and the adventure segment is indicated as the fastest growing segment. Leading competition is observed from China and Taiwan, and driving low costs will be imperative, and that's from Statista 2016. In the competitive arena, of the 5 market vendors, Wheels That Go was 5th when measured in 2027 to retail sales and net income. However, product quality was above industry average, the 3rd of 5 of the competitors. Significant rankings in all areas were noted, and PR was ranked 1st in all bike segments. Our quality, cost structure, and pricing lends itself to projected high rates of growth in market sales and earnings in the future years. Operations and manufacturing will undergo fine-tuning of its metrics, thereby reducing the cost of operations. We will drive to lower cost of goods sold through employee continuous training, process improvements, and efficiencies gained through the supply chain management. From the administrative perspective, we will optimize efficiencies in our selling, distribution channels, and our administrative functions. We will optimize and increase our spend rate in the advertising to gain a higher awareness in branding and PR, as the US domestic performance must dramatically increase in both market share and net income. Regional and country analysis will be determined based on the customer potential and the in-depth Hofstede and cultural analysis. And last, the market potential and financial return on investment will drive the final go, no-go decision. Wheels That Go will maintain and continue to improve strategy implementation. It will strive to design product specifications closely aligning with the projected customer desires and requirements. The strategy of the organization will continue to be cost leadership, providing quality bicycles and competitive pricing. Dependent on the domestic growth and net income, global expansion will be evaluated as described earlier and strongly considered to decrease unit cost and increase the customer base. These actions are designed to enhance our long-term growth and shareholder value.
The Wheels That Go team would like to thank you for your time today.